All right, guys. So today we're going to be taking a look ahead to next season for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Coming off a fairly successful year, 10-4. Kind of the status quo for Iowa. You know, you're going to beat the bad teams. You're going to lose to the good teams. Kind of right in that double-digit win range. But there is hope on the horizon. All right, we'll get to that here in a second. But first off, let's go ahead and look at the recruiting rankings, their transfer portal rankings, all that good stuff. All right, so you should be able to see it on your screen now. They have the 31st ranked recruiting class, 71st ranked transfer portal class. Let's talk about the recruits first off here. You can see a lot of 4-stars coming in. All right, and Iowa, some of these guys might help out next year. Now, Iowa does return some really key pieces for next year. In particular, the middle linebackers coming back. But Cade McNamara, quarterback, is healthy. He'll be back. Former Michigan starting quarterback. You may remember him. So I think Iowa's going to be pretty good next year, and I think maybe even better than they were this year. But some of these guys, we'll take a look at them here. All right, so let's see. The number 17th ranked linebacker, number 12th tight end, 23rd offensive tackle, 24th linebacker, 19th guard, 21st quarterback. So they've definitely got some interesting prospects coming in. Like I said, at Iowa, some of these guys could contribute right away. But the main thing I want to focus on here is this transfer portal class. All right, so it's a little not quantity, but quality here. Quality over quantity approach. Kadyn Proctor, Alabama offense tackle, 5-star, has committed to Iowa. All right, so you have your starting left tackle next year, and it's a Crimson Tide guy. Kadyn Proctor is legit, probably a future first-round NFL draft pick. Definitely a key piece to bring in if you're Iowa. Now, let's look ahead to their schedule here. All right, so really actually have a pretty favorable schedule for this expanded playoff. With this expanded playoff being in the Big Ten, you can probably still make the playoff with 2 losses, maybe 3 on a good year. But let's dive into it a little bit here. First off, Illinois State. That should be a win for Iowa. Next up, you got your rivalry game, Iowa State. I think they beat Iowa State this year. Like I said, Iowa I think is going to be improved. So give me Iowa in that game, put you at 2-0. Troy, they're losing their head coach, John Summerall, to Tulane, so that should be a win. 3-0. At Minnesota, never easy. PJ Fleck always kind of scrappy at Minnesota, but I'm going to give Iowa the win there. Ohio State, at Ohio State, in the shoe, probably going to be an L, let's be honest. Ohio State is the team to beat next year, most likely. So that's probably a loss. Put you at, what are we at, 3-1 right now? All right, we got next, Washington. All right, Washington loses their coach, Kalen DeBoer, loses a ton of talent from this year, Michael Penix Jr., Dylan Johnson, Roman Dunze. Whole team's gone almost. All right, also lost all the offensive line in the transfer portal. I think this is a win for Iowa. Washington's not going to be near as good as they were last year. At Michigan State, I'm going to give Iowa a win there as well. Should be fine against Michigan State. First year for Jonathan Smith. That puts you at, 5-1. Northwestern, I think that's going to be a win. Looks like it's homecoming for Iowa. Puts you at 6-1. Wisconsin, not going to be easy. Luke Fickell should have his team improved. I think this game's probably a 50-50 matchup. Should be a toss-up. Should be a good game, but I'm going to give the edge to Iowa here since it is at home. So that puts you at 6-1, I believe. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6-1, 7-1. Sorry. All right, at UCLA, they're going to be down. Chip Kelly's kind of on the chopping block. They've lost some key pieces. Dante Moore, quarterback to Oregon. I think that's an Iowa win, 7-1. Maryland, they're not going to be the same without Talia Tagovailoa. That's going to be a loss. A win for Iowa, a loss for Maryland. So that's going to put you at 9-1. And then Nebraska at home, I think that's going to be a win. I know this sounds insane, guys, but I think Iowa is looking at a 1-loss campaign next year. That might put you in the Big Ten championship. I don't know, because you don't play Penn State, Oregon, or Michigan. You really actually have a pretty freaking good schedule here and really sets you up nicely for the college football playoff berth. You play Ohio State, but other than that, you don't play the top 4 teams. Like I said, Penn State, Oregon, both going to be top 10 preseason teams. Then you got Michigan, reigning national champs. You don't play any of those teams. This is a really good schedule for Kirk Ferentz in Iowa. This should, if I'm reading this right, if I'm correct here, I think this is going to put them at 1 loss to Ohio State. Will they make the Big Ten championship? We'll see. Honestly, hopefully for them, they might not want to make it because they might get embarrassed there. You might not want to make it and then just skate into the playoffs with 1 loss. And I think this does set up nicely, like I said, for an Iowa playoff berth. But looking at their schedule, looking at everything else we looked at, recruiting rankings, transfer portal rankings, what do you think of Iowa next year? What do you think their record's going to be? If you've got them getting more L's than I do, who do you have them losing to? What do you think of Iowa next season? All the changes they've made, offense coordinator-wise and everything. Let me know. Comment down below. Make sure to like this video. Most importantly, subscribe.